A year ago this month, a Cavan man received the red hat from Pope Benedict in Rome. The Archbishop of Armagh was elevated to the position of Cardinal, and we thought it would be nice to meet Cardinal Brady at his home here in Armagh. So, towards the end of the summer, I travelled here to the Orchard County to visit with Cardinal Brady. Hello, Cardinal Brady.
Hello, Mary. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Ciao.
Cardinal Brady, thank you for inviting us into your home.
You're very welcome, Mary, and thank you for choosing to come here.
And I presume you've settled well now into your new role as Cardinal.
Well, I hope so, but there are always surprises around the corner. Somebody said to me once how you settled in Armagh. It was the local undertaker, and I said, I hope I'm as settled as I will be until you take me to my grave. And he said, I hope it will be my grandson.
Oh, well, that was very nice, actually.
Yes.
But you must be well settled here in Arachaley, because you've been here since you became Archbishop of Armagh.
That's right.
That was in?
I was appointed in 1995, but Cardinal Daly was here. I was co-tutor, that's assistant to him, for 1995, and then in October, November 1996 I took over as Archbishop and moved into this house.
So nice
yes,
house.
I am. It's a nice house. It was built in 1886, Archbishop McGettigan, and then extended when I think one of my predecessors went off to Australia for some function or other. So it's very comfortable and convenient to the cathedral and to the centre of the city, of course, and I like it.
It's lovely to have such a nice garden in the centre of the city, isn't it?
Yes, it's a peaceful oasis. It used to be filled with apple trees, I think, as would befit the Orchards County. But then it was decided to clean out those trees, and it's now a nice garden, well kept by our gardener, Peter McCreesh.
And do you have favourite parts of the house? Like, is there a place that you...
That's a good question. Well, I suppose, yes, I like my own sitting room upstairs. Downstairs is here where we meet people. This is a boardroom here. Used to be a sitting room, a reception room. There's another reception room on the far side.
And that actually, I'm looking at that table, it's a lovely piece of furniture, isn't it? You'd have great crowds around that, you know, a nice conversation, wouldn't you?
Well, it's usually used for meetings at the moment, so it's usually business, but it is a good table. I don't know really where it came from.
Yeah.
It's just somewhere around some of these buildings.
But it's lovely that all of the fireplaces are intact and the doors. It's, you know, it's a nice, solid and very peaceful house.
But yes, I like it. I'm well settled into it now.
But as well as being your home, of course, it's the hub of the Archdiocese, isn't it? And there's an office here where Claire is working busily away.
At the moment, but there are three offices there, actually. There's the financial people, the diocesan secretary, who's Father John Connolly. He's on holidays at the moment, and Claire is in charge
holding the fort.
Holding the fort, exactly.
You must have a very busy schedule, because given the size of this archdiocese, of which you are, you know, the Archbishop, we filmed you earlier in the year, and you were confirming children in Drogheda.
St. Peter's Drogheda, yes, that's right.
Just give us an idea of the extent of your remit.
It runs from the Boyne to the Myola, the River Myola, which is north of Magherafelt in South Derry. So I get the occasion to come to a lot of happy occasions where people are celebrating and joyfully recognising the contribution that their faith has made to their society. So that's part of the joyful aspect of the work. One of the most thrilling events I've been at, the welcome of the Holy Father when he sailed up Sydney Harbour with a flotilla. Was there for World Youth Day. I had the privilege of being on the boat with him, and it was just magnificent. 13 helicopters in the air,
amazing.
The escort of police boats each side, and pilgrims on boats and pilgrims on the shore. Wonderful climax, crescendo was the Mass on the Sunday morning with the Holy Father. Some 300 to 400,000 people, of whom 125,000 were young people from all over the world. It was certainly a magnificent sight.
Cardinal Brady, take us back to your youth, growing up in Cavan. What was that like?
Well, I grew up on a farm in Cavan in the parish of Lara, which is Drumlin country, hilly country. It's now been transformed into a wind farm. There's a lot of turbines going up there at the moment. And I was born in 39, so I was growing up in the 40s. I'm the eldest of three. My brother is still farming there, and my nephew is farming there, and my sister's in Dublin. That's just the three of us. So then, after that time in primary school, I went as a boarder at St. Patrick's College in Cavan for 5 years.
You spent time in Rome as well as vice-rector and then rector of the Irish College. Did you like that?
Very much, and I came to like it more and more as I spent time there. The work was varied in the sense of, well, the job description was vice-rector, so therefore that was providing for the economic needs of the college, financial matters, and playing a part in the formation of the students for the priesthood in Ireland and elsewhere.
And a very, I suppose, happy occasion during your time in the Irish College was Italia 90, and I know you played your part in organising for Jacko's army to visit the Pope and to have an audience with the Pope.
Jack Charlton had promised Mick Byrne, I think, that if they got to Rome, they'd have an audience. And of course, other teams would go after the cup would be over because they didn't regard it as being a good omen to go beforehand. But the Irish Boys Fair, they said yes, they were going. And well, I just played a part in the sense I made the phone call to get the tickets or whatever it was. And when they arrived in the square and got out in their tracksuits, though, it was a brilliant moment. And of course, the Holy Father responded magnificently because being a footballer himself, he wanted to meet Packy Bonner in particular. They were both goalkeepers. And of course, the place was with Irish supporters, green shirts all over the place. But it was a great couple of days, and the stock of the Irish was very high.
Another high point for all of us, a very important occasion for all Irish Catholics was last November when you were elevated to the College of Cardinals, and that was a magnificent occasion in Rome.
Yeah, it was a wonderful occasion. Wonderful occasion for me, for the people of Armagh, for my family, and especially for the people of my native Cavan who travelled out in large numbers and made themselves heard. And I was very happy to see that bringing so much joy to so many people. A lot of Irish bishops travelled out, so it was a big occasion, you know.
Yeah. And you know, you've described beautifully the sense of occasion in Rome, but there was also a great sense of occasion, wasn't there, when you came back here? The homecoming.
Oh, the
Cardinal.
homecoming! Yeah, I think we got a wee bit carried away. No, I wasn't on an overtop bus. Oh no,
I thought you went through an open top bus.
Oh no, that was suggested, but I walked through Armagh. When we came by car to the Armagh, I got out and walked from the Monaghan Road because I felt that it was, I was more accessible. The open top bus is a bit more like the Roman Emperor coming back from a triumph abroad.
And then you had a homecoming again when you went back to your home parish in Lara.
Well, that was well planned by our parish priest there, Father Phil Brady, who was determined that he would maximise the occasion for the faith life of the people. That was on the Feast of St. Bridget because that's the patroness of our parish.
Just before we finish, Cardinal Brady, you let the cat out of the bag earlier when you were talking about your background in Cavan, and you said you were born in 1939. That means that you have a milestone birthday coming up next year.
That's right.
I've just done my sums there.
Exactly.
You're going to celebrate your 70th birthday.
Yeah.
And, do you have any wishes, for yourself, for the Archdiocese, for the country that...
Well, before I do that, I'm going to do something here tonight in Armagh, in the Feast Centre, launch Cardinal Cathal B. Daly's last book, and he's a model to all of us. He has written several books. I think this is the fourth or fifth since he retired. It's called The Breaking of Bread. It's on the Eucharist. And my wish is that a lot of people, as many people as possible, would take up that book and read it and regain, deepen again our faith in the Eucharist, because that's what matters. It's the Mass that matters. So that's my first wish, that we'd regain that sense of reverence, of respect, of the sacred.
Well, Cardinal Brady, thank you for inviting us into your home, Aracheli, and every good wish with your responsibilities as Archbishop of Armagh and also Cardinal and Primate of all Ireland. And Also in this, your 70th year, as you...
Yeah, I'm soon coming into my 70th year. My birthday's next month.
Every good wish.
Thank you
very much.
Thanks.
And our good wishes are with Cardinal Brady as he begins his second year as Cardinal. Now, as well as being Primate of All Ireland, he is, of course, parish priest at St Patrick's Cathedral here in Armagh. It's a beautiful and a sacred place. And we're going to go in and find out a little bit about the cathedral from Father Eugene Sweeney, who's the administrator here. Father Eugene, you know, when we travel abroad, we stand in awe in cathedrals, but really, St Patrick's Cathedral here in Armagh would hold its own with any of them. It's a stunning building. We'll talk about that in a while. It's also a great location.
It is. It's a wonderful location. Catholic emancipation was in 1829, and this site was acquired from the Earl of Dartry.
The interior is, as I said at the beginning, spectacular, and there are some very beautiful features. The Stations of the Cross, for instance.
Yeah, they're wonderful. They were done in England, and then the mould was broken. I think the ornamentation in the cathedral, it's a wonderful mixture of biblical spirituality, European spirituality, and then Irish spirituality.
The floor
Sanctuary,
is
yes.
magnificent.
It is. It's beautiful. That's polished Italian porcelain. The steps are Spanish marble. The altar is Tunisian limestone. And you see in the front here, our Lord is surrounded by Patrick, Malachy, Bridget and Oliver Plunkett.
Irish saints. Another feature that's very striking, and I would imagine visitors are quite struck by it, is the cardinals' hats that are suspended from the ceiling.
The cardinals' hats, obviously very historical. There are 5 of them. Now, the first cardinal here in Armagh was Cardinal Logue, who was created in 1873. And at that time, each cardinal was given a hat or a galero, so it was a large hat.
Father Eugene, you know, you could talk forever
Yes.
about the gorgeous features of this cathedral as a
sure.
place of worship and a place of beauty. But there's one I would just like to finish with, and it's the depiction in the window behind your head there
yes.
of this cathedral and also the Church of Ireland, St Patrick's.
Yes, as you see there are the depiction of the 2 cathedrals side by side. And I think when you think that stained glass window is there for over 100 years, it was an extremely ecumenical act at the time. So obviously that relations were good, and there was a sense that both hills, both cathedrals follow in the tradition of Patrick.
A nice ecumenical note on which to finish there, and in actual fact you can see St Patrick's Church of Ireland Cathedral behind me on the far hill. That brings us to the end of this evening's programme. Tá súla gom gur bhainteamh taibh as our gúirt go chun é ordmhacha ón na haoine ar bhuireann íomhathagaibh agus go déisibh slán.
And on next Friday's programme, A Taste of Kerry. As a school which has given the tourism world internationally some of its best chefs and other staff celebrates a significant birthday, 6 of the best make a return visit to work their magic in the kitchen, and it's all for charity. And Degrees of Adventure, how the Institute of Technology in Tralee is now offering a degree in the more adventurous side of tourism.